Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're with us on this Monday morning, starting off another week. Here it is, September. We well into September, and it's going to be some cooler weather coming soon, we hope. But right now, of course, our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning and Drew Pollard and the hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. High today's only going to get 87, so that's a little sign of the day's getting a little bit shorter, and the sun's not up quite that long, and just a little bit cooler. Low's going to be 76, and the water temperature in it appears 87 also. So that's a good sign right there. On Monday, I was about to do what moon phases we are in. We're just beginning to get our first quarter. We're going to have a first quarter is going to be Wednesday this week. The full moon of September will be the 18th. So we're waxing up now, getting ready for the full moon of September. It's going to be some really beautiful, some moon shots. It's going to be really nice, and the afternoons should be laying, I'm talking about floundering, should be some good times there. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at good tides today. Highs at 110 this morning, going out to right after lunch, about 12:30. You look at the rest of the week, good strong tides coming in this week. So that looks good. All right, let's take our break. The wind is coming in. They're calling for east-northeast at 10 to 15. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks, and welcome our guest this morning, Rusty Russell from Crime Stoppers. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you again.
All right, glad to have you. He's president of Crime Stoppers, and how did that happen?
I missed a meeting.
You missed the meeting.
That's what happens. You got to show up.
That is.
Yeah, or bad things happen to you.
Wow. Well, you've done a great job with it. You've been doing it how long now?
Oh gosh, I've been involved a decade or more.
A decade.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we love having him on the show. We had a fishing trip recently, but we'll get to that later. But guess what's coming up? Tell them what's coming up.
The Gun a Day giveaway.
The Gun a Day giveaway. So here's a poster here, and we just wanted to get it out there because tell us about it.
Well, I think this is our 4th or 5th year, but we give a gun away every day of November, and we raffle off the tickets. They're $40 each, or you can get 3 for $100. We'll talk about how you can buy tickets. You can do it online this year, and gun shops in town have them. And
wow.
It's our signature fundraising event, and it does a lot more for it. It raises a lot of friends for us, too. So it gets the word out. Yeah.
It really does, and you've been real pleased with the result on Panhandle Outdoors.
It's great. You know, I believe we've had more winners that have purchased tickets after watching this show than we have any other way.
I love it. Okay, here's a list here. This is amazing, going through this list of guns, and we won't go through all of them, but it starts with that first one, a Henry, and you can see Glocks, and you can see the retail prices for that little $40 ticket.
And they get more valuable as you go through the month.
Look at there. The Smith & Wessons, Springfield, look, we're getting up to $600-700 guns now. And then one a day, all the way up here. Look at that check, $9.99. Whoa, $1,000 on the bottom two. That's amazing.
It is. It is.
So tell us how it works. How do they get the numbers? I mean,
well, we use the Florida Pick 3 midday number, and so starting November 1, we watched the drawing online.
Yeah.
Number 678 pops up. We go to our little database and see that Winston Chester bought 678, and I get to pick up the telephone and call him and tell him he won a gun.
How about that?
Yeah. The nice thing about it is 678 comes up again. You win another gun. That happens every year. We have multiple winners every year.
Is that right?
Yep, that's right. So if your number comes up, we don't know if the Florida lottery number is going to pop up again. That same number is going to pop up again. So that's the unique thing about this fundraiser. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Even Thanksgiving Day, we'll make a phone call and tell someone they want to.
Thanksgiving Day. How cool is that? And you know, you don't have to be a gun lover or whatever. I mean, but it's a great system we're supporting. But also, you can win one and give it for a Christmas present, a birthday present, or something.
Yeah.
If you don't. Okay, tell us real quick about Crime Stoppers. What's been going on with it?
Well, you know, we're a group of volunteers. We're a nonprofit. We work with law enforcement agencies, and we provide anybody with an opportunity to report a crime or or some information they think is critical for law enforcement to get about anything that's going on in their community that might be illegal, and remain anonymous and earn a reward.
Well, that's a cool thing about it, and there's been some good cases. Y'all done some good volunteers and done some good things. What's some of them?
Yeah, we've had a couple this year that I want to maybe share with you. This month, this is the most recent one we've had this month. We got a tip about some illegal drug activity at a house where drugs are being sold. But they believe the individuals living there were also believed to have warrants for their arrest. When law enforcement investigated, the tip resulted in 3 individuals being arrested and charged with trafficking in methamphetamines, possession of drug equipment, and violation of community control. So this tip closed down a drug house, and one tip resulted in the arrest of 3 people.
How about that? And that's what we have to do as a community. We have to sort of watch out. Law enforcement can't see everything, and we sometimes we'll see something and get rewarded for it.
Yeah. Can I share another one with you? This one is the one we're most proud of this year. We received a phone call from a local law enforcement agency, and we work with all agencies from Gulf, Washington, and Bay County. We received a call from them. They were asking for some assistance, and we can assist in that we can get the word out. We have billboards, we have community signs, we do community events where we hand out flyers and do things like that. But there was a missing juvenile, and we put a billboard up, and then as a result of that, we got a tip of a location where she might be being held in another state. And so local law enforcement here worked with the authorities in that jurisdiction and located her and returned her home to her family. Individual was arrested and charged with multiple charges, including giving false information to law enforcement and interference with child custody. Now, we also understand that they were grooming that girl for other activities. So it's a human trafficking situation. And so we were really, really proud of that one. And that one, we felt really good about it because the kid was involved, and we really celebrated when we had the opportunity. We were actually happy to write a $1,000 check and give the tipster the money.
Wow.
So that was.
And that's what we call that win-win situation, where something bad happens and yet something good results from it.
Oh yeah.
People, and that really probably saved her life, really, in the long run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's when they're called in the tip, I mean, it's a Crime Stopper tip, and they let people know about it, and then when our law enforcement jumps on it. I mean,
they do.
They do a great job with it.
They do.
We talked about that.
Yeah, and I make this point every year, and I think this is our 42nd year, and never once has a tipster been identified.
Okay.
Never once.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with Rusty Russell with Crime Stoppers. Okay, welcome back. See, we're Rusty Russell, Panhandle Crime Stoppers, just doing a lot of good things and helping the world be a better place. And we're talking about the gun giveaway and 3 tickets for $100 or $40 a piece, and we're going to buy 3 tickets for $100. I didn't bring my checkbook, but we're going to buy some. So where can folks get the tickets from, Rusty, if they're going to get them online?
Well, yeah, this is our 2nd year, and online works really good for us so far. But you can go to PCS Tips, Panhandle Crime Stoppers, PCStips.com. There's a drop-down menu for a gun giveaway, and you can purchase tickets online.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, a lot of people are taking advantage of that already.
And there's some gun stores or some other places?
Yep. The Powder Room on the beach, we've sort of got it spread out across the counties, but the Powder Room on the beach is a good place to buy them. And I'll say something about the Powder Room. That's who helps us get the firearms. And I got to tell you, it's a wonderful feeling walking through there with those guys when they put this together. They go into their stock room and they start picking stuff out.
Oh, cool.
And those guys know firearms, and they know what community wants, and they're responsible for making this happen for us, so we appreciate that. But you can get them at the Powder Room. You can get them from Pro Gear out in Youngstown. The Gun Depot, they've been supporting us since day one in Lynn Haven. And then Johnny Paul over Weewaw Outdoor and Pond in Weewaw. So you can pick up the tickets there.
Very good, very good. And then how to, say, people want to call in, how do they, Crime Stoppers, you were talking about this right here.
Well, yeah, if you want to call in and provide a tip, the traditional way, everybody's seen the 785 TIPS number, and it's 850-785-8477, so it's 785 TIPS. That's the traditional way old guys like me still use a telephone. But there are 2 apps. You can use P3 TIPS. You can download that app for free on your phone. You can just click the app and it knows where you are because of GPS, and it will report that tip to the Panhandle Crime Stoppers office if you're in one of the 3 counties around here. And then there's another thing, the Bay County Sheriff's Office has an app. If you don't have that, you should get that, because it's not just about Crime Stoppers, it's about the Bay County Sheriff's Office. You want to know where the sex offenders are, it's on the app. You want to see who's wanted, it's on the app.
Okay.
But for us, we really appreciate the sheriff doing that for us, because you can go to the Bay County Sheriff's Office app, click on make a tip, and it automatically takes you to the tip app, so you can do that anonymously.
Good deal.
On one of those 3.
And also we're covering Gulf County, and you say you're getting into Washington County now?
Yeah,
or?
that's right. We've been in Gulf County for a long time, and then we receive quite a few tips for the Washington County area, but we didn't officially serve that area. We weren't really assigned to that area. And so we went up and met with Kevin Cruz, and he could not have been nicer.
Yeah.
And said, look, you know, we'd like to officially come into the county and start working with you. He couldn't have been happier about it. So another reason to have the fundraiser, we're going into Washington County. We're going to start serving that area, so we're going to need to put billboards up there and community signs and things like that. So we've got expense related to that as well. So, but we're excited about doing adding Washington County to our list of service areas.
That's really good. So that the whole thing is we're doing good things and all. I mean, this is awesome. And we'll start. It's going to be the month of November.
Right.
And,
yeah. Starting November 1, every day we get to make a phone call and give somebody some good news.
Okay.
It'll be a lot of your viewers, by the way.
Yes, and we're counting on that. So it's going to really be a win-win, because we can win, and we can win also against the bad guys. So that's good. All right, now we're going to change the subject a little bit, because you invited me. You had a fishing trip. We got all this covered. We'll all that covered pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You invited me on a fishing trip a couple of weeks ago on Billy Archer's boat, and I didn't turn that down. And it was a family fishing trip. So tell me about it.
I've started trying to do something every year with my grandson and my son, and to go fishing. And my brother-in-law, who was scheduled to go, had to have shoulder surgery, and his primary home is in California, so he had to go back to California when our trip was rescheduled. You know, the weather got a lot of the one of the snapper weeks, so Billy was nice enough to find us another place, and so Dennis had gone, so we had a spot. And so we appreciate you going.
I loved it. Yeah. And now he brought some pictures now. So the first picture, we're going to show a couple of pictures. The first picture he brought. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, you never have a photo of your fish, and so you put everybody else's pictures on here. So I thought it was nice, but that's a photo that I took, and that's actually a snapper you caught. So
yeah,
you know that.
That was fun. Look what a beautiful day it was. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
That's great.
Now, this was a classic right here.
Yeah, Max, before the trip, said he was going to catch the largest fish. He did last year as well. That's my grandson, Max. And he caught that big amberjack.
And his son, Justin.
And that's my son, Justin, yeah. Look at the weather we had. It was nice.
Wow. I love that picture there.
I put that on there, too, because you had the Scallop Queen on, and she talked about her favorite fishing spot was Costa Rica. A month or so ago, Justin and his family were in Costa Rica, and that's where that fish was caught. That's Max in Costa Rica. He's really become he loves to fish.
Yeah, 12 years old, right?
Yeah, and he'll fish anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. This is your granddaughter.
That's my granddaughter, and there's a reason I have this up here. I'll make that point in a minute. But Maddie is 14, and this is her freshman year, and she was at a track meet with 550 runners, and she finished 15th. So she's on the varsity cross-country track team now.
Goodness.
And that's Justin's daughter, my granddaughter, Maddie.
Oh, congratulations, Maddie.
Yeah.
Buchholz? Buchholz.
Yep.
Right there in Gainesville.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, over in Gainesville. And that's this is a great outdoor activity. This is my granddaughter, Ivy, and she's with her great-grandfather, Mr. Morrell, who lives in High Spring. He's my son-in-law's grandfather, and he's actually related to Don Morrell here.
Okay.
But he has the kids working in the garden, and they do a lot of outdoor activities. But the nice thing about Mr. Morrell is he puts a sign up every year on the front of his property when his garden is ready, and he lets the community come in and take what they want to eat.
Wow. What
Nice
about
guy.
that? Just free vegetables, huh?
Yeah, and Coach, there's a reason that, I didn't put those photos up there to be self-serving. There's a reason I put those up there is that, we parents work to try to do the right thing for their kids, and especially when you're a young parent, you're really busy. We worked hard. We made sure we went camping every year. We did things like that. I certified Justin. He shot his first flounder under my supervision and diving, and we do that kind of stuff. But you're young, you're busy, you've got careers, you're trying to do stuff. You try to do a good job, and it works off. But I got to tell you that one of the reasons that continues for a lot of families is because those parents were in your class. So we did what we could to provide outdoor education, but what you really did for a lot of our kids was sort of the graduate course of outdoor education to make sure that it continues. And what you're also doing is, for people like me, you know my history. I was a diver. That was fine. I decided I was going to fish when I couldn't dive anymore, and I thought it was be easy. I was wrong. But this show is an outdoor education class for this community.
Yeah, well, thank you. I don't get to give them grades at all, but we do get a lot of pictures. And getting back to Justin being in the class, he's a wonderful student, and he's a principal there in Gainesville, and it was so good to see him on that fishing trip. It's always special, a fishing trip, but sitting there hours, Justin and I talked about all kinds of things. It was a very special time. He's a great young man and doing a great job as a dad with outdoor stuff.
Well, we just appreciate all you do for this community and what you've done for our kids. I can speak for every parent who ever had a kid in your class. And then in this show, I tie what I call a Bill Allen loop knot, because I learned to tie that loop knot watching him on your show.
How about that?
And so I know I'm one of thousands of people that can say that. So.
Well, let's get back to knot tying. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. Sitting with Rusty Russell. Before we get back to Rusty, let's look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time, 3:59 to 5:59 this morning, and 4:23 to 6:23 late this afternoon. Now, you notice what we have here. So, Rusty, you were a diver. You've been a diver for a long time. Tell us real briefly how long you dove.
Oh, gosh. I started diving as a teenager. And before I was certified, I had a friend that would take me to the jetties, and we'd put a tank on and swim around the jetties. But yeah.
You fell in love with diving.
I did. Became a dive instructor, worked for the Marine Institute for 30 years.
Yeah, Panama City Marine Institute.
So,
a great career.
Yeah.
Okay, and a legend here in the Florida Panhandle, going back to World War II, was the sinking of the Empire Micah. Okay, tell us about that.
June of 1941, the Empire Micah is a British tanker. I think it was on one of its first voyages. Was about 20 miles off Apalachicola, which is about 60 miles from here. And a German submarine put two torpedoes into it and sank it, and it burned for about 24 hours before sinking.
I'm going to show a picture. I know about this story and all, but I've never seen this picture before. Look at this, folks. This is an actual picture the next day after it got hit that night. It's a listing. Yeah,
the people in Apalachicola, if you read the stories, they say it burned for about 24 hours, and they could see the glow. And so locals would take boats out to try to rescue the crew. I know 30 or 36 people died as a result of that. Yeah.
And then what we have here, tell us about what this is right here.
I got this from my friend Mike Michael. We've been on the Micah together a lot. Mike found this on the Empire Micah on one of the dives. He's got it on a little display here so he can display it in his house. But this is a porthole out of Micah, and you can see it's extremely heavy. It took both of us to pick it up and put it on this table.
Heavy.
Yeah. But the glass is gone, and Mike said that when he found it, that the glass was cracked, and you could tell it was fire damaged and melted to some degree because of the heat. But the glass is out of it. But this is one of the portholes off the Micah. And Mike found this probably late 70s or something, when most of the things like that we thought were gone.
Yeah.
And he found that on a dive and didn't say anything about it, and came back up to the surface. Finished his little surface interval time and was getting ready to make another dive. Took a lift bag down with him and brought this up.
With a lift bag.
Yeah.
Okay. There was another famous part that came out. Let's look at this one right here. This is Captain Anderson Marina. Tell us about this.
Yeah. That propeller was on the Empire Micah, and divers removed it, and there was a lot of controversy and a lawsuit involved in that. But anyway, it ended up at Captain Anderson's. That thing's about 18 feet tall. I think they said it weighs 36,000 pounds, and that's a bronze propeller. And Captain Anderson's has it on display there. If you've been there, you've seen it. But when that was on the wreck, we used to go, it was on the stern, of course, and there used to be big Goliath grouper. We called them Jewfish at the time, and that's where we would shoot them. Now, there's another propeller on the wreck that's ferrous metal, and it was laying on the deck. And we're assuming, obviously, that was the spare for the ship. And we used to pick shovel those lobster up out from under that propeller.
Wow. It is amazing, the history and all, and here's a man that participated in that Empire Micro, but the story of the propeller had become legendary because of the way it happened. We don't have time to get into it, but I almost write a little book about somebody. It wasn't a...
Oh yeah, a couple different groups of divers, and a lawsuit was involved, and good news is our friends at Captain Anderson's ended up with it, so we can see it.
The Petronas family got it legally and bought it and got it legally, and I'm so glad they preserved this history. But what an amazing part of our history right there, the nautical history, and then this right here. I cannot get over the weight of that.
Right.
And those ships had to float with all that heavy weight.
Right, and you know we'd pick through it. I found this is a rail. I think this went on a bulkhead, and it probably had wooden rail through that.
Wow. And
that survived the fire, of course. But we would go shoot fish and then look for whatever artifacts we could find, and had no idea something like this was left when Mike found that.
Yeah. So what a great part of our nautical history and heritage here, and it's I appreciate you bringing it. That's really cool stuff right there. Yeah. We're about to run out of time again. We're going to talk more about the Crime Stoppers gun raffle because it starts in November. So we always appreciate you coming on. And doing this is talking about doing good things for our community. This is cool. But I marvel at this and marvel at history. And 2 German submarines were out here on our coast in World War II.
Oh, yeah.
People, I mean, it's hard to believe. And heard many stories about what was going on.
Right.
And they did just do some damage. That was 1941, right?
Yep, June of 1941.
Yeah, that's something. Well, Rusty, appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you having us.
All right. And maybe Justin will get to watch this show on YouTube.
I guarantee it.
Okay. All right. We're going to wrap it up, folks. Thank you all for watching our show. We appreciate the viewership. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.